Greetings, I'm joining us on this broadcast. Okay, so today is another connection with the spirit world. Hopefully, it makes some kind of sense. That's the goal. If it doesn't make any sense, no, I wouldn't be too surprised by that. But they are trying to bring some understanding of their existence or what they're doing exactly. I don't think they're sitting around playing harp music, but some of them might be. And also 900 hertz, healing energy, and Adam's calendar, African Stonehenge. So African Stonehenge is like the birthplace of humanity or something around those lines. So I just do energy healing there. So we're going to dive more into the spirit world and get what we can out of them. If that doesn't work, we'll bring in somebody else. That's the point. So if it stops making any sense or they're not getting anywhere with anything, I think some of this is kind of catching them off guard a little bit, like they're unprepared, which is kind of weird. But because they're so disconnected from our reality. When you have spirit beings that incarnated here, it's one thing. Connected to Thoth or someone, that's one thing. But if you're connected to the spirit world, they're just flying around, not doing a whole lot. I mean, they are, but there's not always a consequence of things that they've done wrong. So either way, just bringing their perspective. Hopefully, it would connect to for our highest good. I mean, if they're out of control and don't make any sense, it certainly does make a lot of sense why this world is the way it is today. So if if they haven't cleaned their room and they're all over the place, well, it certainly does make sense here. So, we're not always getting clarity. Things are not nothing ever makes a whole lot of sense, right? So if the spirit world is not much different than that in a different way, not to give up hope, but it's, when you're in the spirit world and you're so disconnected from what's happening here, that's not good. So, not all of them are disconnected, but quite a few of them are. So that's why you have one main spirit guide or two that I can always talk to, and the rest of them are like living in La La Land. It's just the way it is. It's a different realm. So it feels like also in spirit realms, there's obviously a positive side and a dark side. There's also a side where light and dark do connect to each other, and they all have a conversation and whatever it is, or try to take over each other or whatever. But there's also a place where you don't have to be around that very often. But it all depends where you're at. It's a plane, basically. You can get disconnected from what's happening here. So when you ask for help from your guides and the angels are understanding because they're here all the time, going through a lot. But the spirit world is kind of like living in La La Land. Not all of them, but quite a few of them feel like they are. Like I say, it certainly would explain why the way the world is today. So they're trying. They are hard-headed. They have this and that. Obviously, we have to fulfill what we're here to fulfill, and somebody has to be tough on us. But because when we lay out our plan here, somebody has to keep us on that plan. Even if we kick and scream and yell, it's like we want something different. It sucks. It's like, well, that's just too bad. So that is a good thing to have that, but it's just hard. We're not really seeing anything, especially we're obviously getting blocked due to the election, and we're just getting blocked. I've been blocked more than I've ever been before. It's like I'm surprised I know what tomorrow is. They don't want anything to be known. Some people can tap into it, but still, it's just there's a lot in the works. Not to say a cataclysm is going to happen or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. It's just another way we're going to dive into it. So Adam's calendar just taps into that vibration, 900 hertz healing energy. Now that is, I've been listening to more of that at night I've been seeing more of my dreams. I don't remember them anymore. Sometimes I remember it, sometimes I don't. And you can also listen to 1,000 for healing. So it's on YouTube. It's on. You can find YouTube's one place to get it if you can find one without all the commercials, or download it from YouTube and just listen to it. It does do a clearing. I mean, that's like the cheapest way to go about it, unless you want to get a sound bowl. But you can just put on meditation music and just listen to it. You have to do a meditation. Just listen. Just have it in the background. You could do your thing or just lay it down and sleep. It does help you connect to the spirit. It helps you relax. Hardest thing is relaxing. So, not to say they're going to tell us anything. That would be nice. Yeah. It's like a big secret. Everything's going on. For obvious reason, they're moving things around. They don't want us to. I mean, we see it, but we're not allowed to remember it. So we have to turn ourselves off. We have to mind wipe ourselves before we come back here, or when we leave Astral. Well, it's either that or somebody do it for you. And when someone else does it for you, that's when it gets interesting. You get sleep paralysis, whatever it might be. So it's different for everybody. So, whoops, wrong one. Hit the wrong thing. That's one of those kind of nights. So SimonToad.com, I have private sessions. The shop I'm on. That's a good question. Where am I? I think I'm on the 15th. Yeah, I'm pretty behind. Or the 14th for some people. Or the 13th for some people. So that's encouraging. Same situation here. I have the webinar sign up. Social network. Rabbit and behind the scenes. All right, just want to do a little bit of an update there because I'm like behind, no energy, and so on. Excuses, of course. Okay, so spirit world will get another. This goes well. All of this makes sense. So just put the intention for highest good, for some kind of answers that make some kind of sense, and for a soul growth, and for them to give us an alien or something, or a spaceship. This is kind of a joke, not really, or give us some kind of insight where things are going. Well, we'll see how that goes. I'm not asking too much for that one. So, all right, blessings. All right, here we go. Much love. Greetings to you. I am Hendrix from Spirit. Yes, many spirit guides do fail because they don't have to listen. They're doing their own thing. Just like humans, they get into their own world. Now, in spirit, it is, yes, it's productive, but also lazy. Well, spirit guides feel they can do anything, meaning that they can do no wrong until they do a wrong, until they give you bad advice, until they interfere with your thinking, where you end up doing what they want instead of what you want. And that does happen time to time, not always, but some people have that throughout their life. Why many are getting mixed messages, such as with the election. Even spirit beings like to interfere and try to get a certain candidate in, even when they should not be doing things like that. So there's been an interference of connections. Yes, your astral is, of course, quote, now majority of you, like 90% of you, not everyone is interested in where the world goes, but quite a few of you are. Now you go into this astral realm and you just see the future very clearly. It's kind of like playing chess. You kind of see the moves before it's being made. So some call it a movie or a game. You can name it whatever you want. But it is set up like Well, it's not really a best way to even describe how your reality is created, because we can't seem to win no matter what kind of definition we put into your reality. You define it as you like to define it. How about that? But there is a lot of placements done, especially if it's in your own incarnation. See, you can see where you're going, but to be fair, you wipe out your memories so to not see where your life is going. Now, you can technically get a feeling at certain times, but you don't want to cheat yourself out of an experience. So this is why you don't always sense why certain things are sometimes you sense certain things is sometimes seeing too much in the future for yourself or for the world is kind of cheating. It's not part of the plan. It can take you out of a reality. It can get you kicked off the reality. Some beings see too much and they go into a coma. Energetically, I know it sounds strange, but some do get kind of excited. They kind of shut themselves down basically because they saw too much. It's all different. Now you can see some of you are here to see the future of others, to help them in their direction. Now that's not always clear either. Sometimes there's a win and sometimes there isn't, because sometimes it's an agreement on predictions. So in your astral realm self, yes, first off, you see everything clearly. You are normally the physicality that you want, but in Earth, it's most likely something very different. Why it's so much different is either have more weight, less weight, whatever it is, or you look completely different in astral. It's because the way you are in the physical is what is necessary for that reality. Now, there's different ways you can be healthier and all that, but overall, you are what you need to be to accomplish what you're here to accomplish. If there's something being dramatically needs to change, your spirit beings will help you with that, or you will help yourself also through your astral self to assist with a change. Now, obviously, your astral self and you aren't always, when you're here, you're not always connecting to your astral self, and your astral self's not always seeing what's happening here. It's a mystery between the two of you. When you're in the awakened state, technically you are in astral all the time, but you're not always aware of what's going on. Yeah, it's like a mystery within a mystery within both. But when you go into the sleep state, you connect more with your astral, you see everything that's happening. It's not always clear, but you have a clear enough view, especially when there's timelines that you just like, oh, look, a timeline that I'm not supposed to look at, and then you look at it, and then you wake up in your morning sick. Like you looked at something you probably should not have looked at, because there's contracts there, and abiding by those contracts is good for you, good for everyone, because the more you see, you can take someone else out of their experience. That's why things are not always clear of the future. Just the way it is. It's an agreement. I realize there's soul growth that you're here all the time, but there's so much more to it than that. But it's healing the earth. It's a million things. It's not just soul growth. It's so many things that are not mentioned here. So 900 hertz vibrations. So yes, sound vibrations help you connect to the spirit realm for your own healing. For various, it will clear out chakras. You can do the vibration that works for you. But yes, it's there for you to get more clarity. So if you think you need a 900 hertz or 1,000 hertz, whatever it might be, it's because you need a little bit more clarity, because the world can get clouded. Many of you come here to heal the spirit realm or the lower astral realm. Realize when many, there's a lot of war on this planet from the past. Many of you come here to heal that war because it's still going on in lower astral on many different levels. At least to bring a more positive vibration. That's why you're incarnated here, to just lighten the load of the earth. So you're going through a major turning point currently as you're getting more, many of you are going to get more powers and downloads of what things are going to go into, more of a crystallized energy. Doesn't mean you're going to be out of the woods just yet, but many of you are going to feel like you're more on track. Now, those of you that are feeling that you are not accomplishing, you feel that you're not accomplishing or you feel not right, is because it's most likely someone trying to interfere with you. You feel less confident. Well, yeah, because some beings don't want you to do what you're doing. Well, you're shutting down their system. The reality that's here. There's Archon beings that some of you have been working a long, sometimes hundreds and hundreds of years of releasing this contract with the earth. Hundreds of years, just I'll let you sit with that. And some of you might get a vision of something around those lines, what that would even look like. It's talking to a shadow being. We'll let you digest that. Of course, your alien incarnation. Some of you, while you incarnate, incarnate here is an incarnate as an alien being. The alien beings that give you more energy. Because you've been here so long, some of you have been here, you just get worn out. So you connect to a Palladian world, a Syrian world, whatever it might be, that has a higher vibration to re-energize yourself, because you're going to come back into the woods eventually. So you're getting your orders, you're thinking clear, you're living the perfect life, possibly have everything that you want, and then you drop all of that and come back here. So it's just, it's like you're just energizing your battery, basically. Well, this world needs all the help it can get. Now, the whole idea of this around World War II, the call was put out. There's different variations of that, meaning that sometimes, like with the bomb, Hiroshima, wasn't necessary for the growth here. Yes, it might not be the best answer, but sometimes you have to try these things out to know where it's going to go. It's obviously, there's not going to be a good answer no matter where you go. But once that was done, even before that, it's like, okay, now we're getting kind of out of control now. But that was seen. It's not like we didn't see it coming. It's like now more star beings need to come here to heal that vibration. You can call it a call. Some people like to call it a call, but the call was already made quite a long time. It's just many beings are hesitant to come here, but many are in preparation a long time. When the World War II energy, the timeline for World War II was seen in the 1800s, even the 1700s. Obviously, astrally, it was seen. Or if you want to go even further, yes, it was seen thousands of years ago, astrally. So this isn't something that just showed up recently, but in your reality, it might seem that way, but in the astral realm, it's totally different. The Adams calendar, yes, that is a marker for alien touchdown, for human development in your physical, more of a physical. Basically, it's basically a portal for more spirit being or alien beings to connect. It's Adam's calendar. I mean, there's many places in Africa where beings are healed right now, but Adam's calendar is like it's a portal overall, just like your Stonehenge. It's for various reasons. It's as your Earth goes into more of an activation, a positive vibration, Adam's calendar will activate. You'll see it as a whole different structure. If you look it up now, it might not seem like much, but if you can visualize the past, how it looked like, it was a much larger structure. It fell apart. It did what it needed to do. It brought new energies into the earth as you begin the seeding process of what would become your human. A lot of Palladian energies are around at this time. So, spirit, why so many beings are hesitant? Well, spirit beings aren't always used to being channeled. I mean, they are, but they aren't. A lot of them, spirit beings, have become perfectionists at giving messages and the human here is tuned into their vibration. But not everything is meant to be predicted. As nice as that would be, failure is necessary too. For growth, not everything needs to be known. Now, it's up to the person to ask the question about relationships, but you might want to know, but do you really want to know? So, the spirit world, yes, this is where the growth is on your reality. Spirit world is basically to keep you going in some form or another. We might not always have the best answers, but as you are here, we're warning to have better answers. We're not obviously giving your aliens into your reality. Aliens are not ready. As much as you want them here, they're a mess just like your world. Well, they feel like your planet is too unpredictable, and they're not prepared for it. Even your reptilians. Now, your reptilians get kind of arrogant. They feel like they can rule your earth forever, which is not true. And that's an adolescent. See, that's where they get spoiled. Well, you're teaching them a great deal. I mean, humans fall for their antics all the time. Self-indulge addictions, that's usually what reptilians work on. Reptilians develop relationships with humans too, sometimes romantically. That's why you feel like there's a vibration around you that's kind of blocking you. You have a lot of people aren't realizing how many relationships you really have in astral. It can be like love relationships. It can be 20, it can be 30, it can be 1,000 for individuals. Obviously, you're not always aware. And that's just the astral. That's not other versions of you and things like that. It's just in astral, you can do many things at once. Here, you'd be lucky if you do one thing. And of course, some people like the micro task here. If they're lucky, they can do 3 things at once. It's amazing. It all depends on how that works. I mean, that's not important. But your spirit energy, why many of you incarnated here? There's a major question. Why are you here? Well, a lot of it is to unlock the earth from its old cycles. You might not always see it in your own energy, but the earth is kind of drowning in its own manipulation through others. Some of you have family members that came here, like you're on a Palladian world. Everyone's positive to an extent. Many of them incarnate on earth thinking they can handle it. A lot of them get lost, become drug addicts. They go into ruin. Like you have a Palladian world where they're perfect. Everything's friendly, nice. They come here, they're just losing it. So that's one of the reasons why many of you incarnated to heal that energy. That's just one example. There's many more examples out there like that. Well, some of you incarnate here, yes, to find your woe. Drug addiction, negative side. Sometimes, as many don't like their negativity, you find your negativity. You're being bad. You're being negative here. You're a warlord, whatever it might be. But then you make peace with that side of yourself. You bring more positive energy too. So when positive beings incarnate here, get lost, become drug addicts, get sex addiction, just get lost. That's where many of you have been through all that already, incarnate here to help them. On different reality, different, while they're connected here in more astral, wherever it might be that they're at. Or some of them are a brother or sister that have addiction problems. It goes on and on like that. Or you're connected to a friend that has an addiction problem. We're just using it for example. So it's like knowing, now obviously you don't have to go into your complete dark side here, but many have and made peace with it. Many are having difficult, well, it's just, can you handle a war like this? Is a jungle planet. And many feel like they can. So many of you incarnated here did like horrible things, but then you brought in beautiful things here. You know yourself. Other beings think they can do the same thing. They dive into this world unprepared and get lost. So you jump back in here to help them out. Some of you have children that are lost. Here to help. You're just here to guide them. They're here to figure things out. But just because your energy is there helps them find themselves. So yes, there's different ways of looking at reality. Obviously, this is just a small percent, but it gives you kind of an idea that beings in spirits, they look at this world thinking that this place is not that bad. They can figure it out. But when they get here, incarnate here, they get completely lost. Some of them are spirit guides. Some of them are lazy spirit guides. They still think that, they get arrogant. They can come here and figure it all out and they end up wrong. It's not everybody that has it, but there's quite a few that are. Such as your politicians. It's like, oh, I'm going to be a politician on Earth. Everything's going to be fine. I'm going to be corrupt. They incarnate here, they're corrupt more than anything. So it all depends. And if you're not corrupt, obviously you're not invited to all the parties. You're not on TV doing fancy interviews. You're just not fancy, but you are doing the right thing. So it's just different parallel ways of looking at this. Many here are coming for answers, but sometimes it's not time to get your answer yet. Sometimes people are figuring out the question, and sometimes you don't want anyone to answer that question. You might be asking everybody, what's my purpose here? It's like, oh, well, you come here to like yourself and all that, but that's, at least you're diving into that side of yourself, but a lot of times that message is not there to be completely clear. They might give you a story that you need to hear, but there's a deeper reason for it. And you're in an age now where that becomes more clear. You'll discover it as necessary. As you see, spirit beings are now being connected more, taken more seriously. Of course, we have been, yes and no. Why certain psychic people get things completely wrong. Well, like I say, a lot of them are meant to. Some of them, their egos get out of control, and they miscommunicate with their guides, and they just mess up. It all depends on the situation, of course. It's not for everybody that's like that, but some do get celebrity and get lost. Happens all the time, actually. So keeping yourself grounded is very difficult. You get all this attention. You want to make everybody happy. Thing is, you're not always making everyone happy. So not that you're here to make everyone happy, but some can get really lost in their own ego. It happens all the time. So why you're going into an age where spirituality is taken more, is part of more of society, where spirit beings are connected to, channeled, but also seen here in the physical. Some of you might already be seeing spirit beings. Of course, alien beings will eventually be seen. But once again, the aliens are almost like your planet, as it's difficult, but this is like where all the old souls are. Yes, there are young souls here, but still, you're here where it's dense. You have to get up and go to work every day. There's a dense. You're still seen as an old soul here. A lot of these aliens are not old souls. They are, but not like you here. I mean, you can have one lifetime here. It feels like you're like 1,000 years old, just like that. This world runs souls real. Doesn't it feel like it runs you really hard sometimes? Especially those that are having suicidal ideas and all. Yeah, because you come from a lighter vibration, come here is like, oh, I just feel like I aged like 1,000,000 years. And for some, that is true. So when you have alien beings at a totally different frequency, and yes, they can help, but aliens connecting, like helping you, can make things worse. Even when they're trying to help, their vibration's so different here, they can't always manage all of you at once. Even if there's a bunch of them here, they can cause more trouble than good. Because you can have a negative reaction to their vibration. They can't handle you. They can get negative really easily. Like you might be trying to be nice to them, but they connect to so much dense energy here, they just lose it. So that's and they've learned their lessons in the past. Obviously, might be preaching to the choir because some of them don't want to hear it, but it's true. Well, we know how they were in the past. But once again, there's no judgment, but that's another reason why you're not having full alien interaction just yet. basically a lot of souls are here to love themselves, and that's a really hard one. As you go through all of the troubles of life and all of that, it is now, can you yes, maybe not exactly have the best hygiene, maybe not look the best and all that, but can you love yourself in this type of environment? Because realize there's realities like, for example, Palladian reality where everybody smells good, everybody looks good. You don't have to comb your hair very often or at all for that matter. It's like a perfect reality. But here you're going through, you have to take a shower, you have to do this, makeup, or whatever it might be. And it's like, after all of that, it's like, do you still like yourself after all of that? It's like, yes, this is a hard world, but liking yourself here. You might like yourself in other realities, but here, are you finding likeness to you here? And that's a major accomplishment right there. And you can still manifest a lot, even not knowing yourself, as many do. But many get relationships, and that's all they are in relationships. Romantic relationships that never know themselves, and maybe actually regret that after they leave. It's like, yeah, I had this okay relationships and great experiences, but when they leave, go back in the spirit, it's like, I don't know who the hell I am. It's like, I do in spirit, but I think now I'm more of a mess than I was before. So there are different ways of looking at things. So maybe you're trying to heal your place here. You're making you're just at least asking the question. You are healing a great deal. So yes, Adam's calendar, yes, is a place that some of you might be able to tap into to see the future of it, of just basically it's bringing in more of a higher vibrational earth. It cannot sustain the energies anymore, but it was a different type of structure in your past. So as for your own direction, healing is basically, keep exploring yourselves. Yes, this is quite a feat being here. Yes, if your vibration of this planet can burn out an alien's energy, I mean, you can bring in aliens here that are not friendly, but then you'll just make problems here even worse. You bring higher vibrational beings here, but it can be good, but it can also burn you out, burn each other out. So, but as you understand more of these realities, as the lower realms the lower astral begins to heal itself, as it is in process of healing currently. You're healing the wars of the past currently. You've been doing this ever since you got here. That's why the world is so dense. Because the world has so much death in its past, you're healing that vibration. Many are crossing over now, but many are crossing over a lot easier than they have in the past. It might not always seem like that, but it's hard to see that currently in this environment. But many of you are getting more knowledge of how to help souls cross over. Many of you, that's your mission here. But of course, that's not everyone. But even if that's not your mission here, many of you have the energy of just basically assisting the Earth in its ascension process. Basically, you want to make things better for everyone in some form or another. So you're assisting those that are helping those cross over.